There are still people out there that don't understand the importance of an inspection. My latest client could have saved thousands of dollars on his RV and the cost of the inspection if he would have gotten one prior to his purchase. Hi everybody, it's Steph from Deb's RV Services and welcome to today's video. Today I have a story about a client that purchased a 2016 Newmar Dutch Star. So that's a 10-year-old RV, and he did not get an inspection prior to the purchase. He was told by the dealership that they did an extensive PDI list and checked everything and it was good to go. So he took ownership of it, and when he started using and looking around the RV, he noticed some things that were not right, and he was creating a list, and he decided to bring in a professional to look around so I could create an entire report to give back to that dealership to show them what I found. Something that I want to make sure that everybody understands is that the dealerships do what's called a PDI. That's a pre-delivery inspection. I don't believe that every dealership is actually doing this and doing this the right way, like thoroughly. They may have somebody that breezes through and then checks off everything on the list on the sheet of paper and then shows the customer that, oh yeah, we already did the PDI on this and it's good to go. And the reason I say that I don't believe that they're actually doing the PDI in some of these cases is because they check off that things are good, but then when I get up there, they're far from good. They're terrible. They're like not even working. I don't know exactly everything that's listed on a PDI, but it's definitely not all the important things that need to be checked during an RV inspection. The first major thing that I found was when I climbed up on the roof, I saw that all the sealant had cracks, and it wasn't just cracking, it was deep cracking. So there are times that you can take sealant and you can just repair it by placing some sealant over the top of maybe some holes that you find. You can do that one time before you really need to just scrape off the old and replace with new. In this case though, I did not recommend that it just get repaired, and you don't just stick some Dicor over the top of the sealant. This roof was far from just needing a little maintenance or tiny repairs. You want to actually replace, you want to scrape off all the old, clean the area, and replace it. This sealant looked like it was from the factory all the way from 2016. It had not been maintained since the first owner took ownership of it. All of the components on the roof had deep cracks in it. The plumbing vents, the regular vents, all the side trim areas, it all needed to be replaced. There were deep cracks and holes in it. It was very aged and needed to be redone, which is a very time-consuming job. It's not always minor when you say sealant needs to be repaired. I want to let you know that it does take a technician a lot of time. So if I write on your report that the sealant on the sidewalls, the sealant on the roof, all the sealant needs to be replaced or repaired, and there's a lot of that, just know that that is a very time-consuming job. When I've replaced some skylights, I've replaced some I've replaced the sealant around vent covers before, and scraping off old sealant is not easy every time. Sometimes it can be easier than others, but a lot of times it's a pain. You're sitting up there for a long period of time, usually hours, and you're scraping this off, and then you got to clean it up really good, and then you want to start applying the new sealant. So it is a time-consuming job, so it's not something that's just a minor, that's no big deal. You've got to factor in the time it takes a technician to do this. So when you are looking at an RV and you're looking at a used RV and it's on a dealer lot, remember, that time it could take to repair all that, you could use that to negotiate off of the price of the RV. Or maybe the RV dealership wants to go ahead and replace it for you. But remember, don't have them just do a patch job. You want them to actually scrape off the old and put on nice, new, fresh sealant that's gonna last you. Otherwise, we're gonna be back up there in the next year to replace more of the sealant because it only got a patch job. The exterior of the coach had some more sealant issues around windows, around the side trim, and so I wrote that up. But one of the other big problems that I saw that I had not seen before with testing out an RV stairs is that whenever you open the door to this RV, the stairs didn't just come out, they came out and just slammed to the ground. So there was something with the extraction of the stairs that was not right, and so I wrote it up that needed to be further investigated by a technician to figure out what was going on with these stairs. The other thing that I found that was pretty big deal was whenever I inspect one of these higher end motorhomes, usually there's like a pull string in the side cargo in order to get that front cargo open so that you can see the generator. And I used all of my strength, and I used 2 arms trying to get this thing open. I could not get it open. Now, luckily, I had my friend Scott, who's a technician and inspector, coming up there because he was helping me out with something else. And so I said, hey, can you try to pull this open for me? So he had to use all his man strength and pull that open, and it finally unlocked. But that's not fun for my client. My client could have difficulty with strength as well, and that's not fun to have to go through all that trouble just to open up the front cargo area. The other thing is when I finally got the front cargo area open, I needed to access that generator, and I needed to be able to pull fluids from it because my client hired me to also pull the oil from the generator and the engine and the coolant and the transmission. So I couldn't access the generator. I couldn't pull it out because that pulley cable was broken. So because I had the other friend that was there, I went ahead and climbed underneath the RV, and I had to manually get that cable to release so that he could pull the generator out. So that's not something that I would want to have my client have to do either. So that needed to be repaired. And again, if it passed the PDI checklist, how did that not get caught? If you want to do your own DIY inspection, I have a workbook that I created that gives you clear pictures. You can go through it step by step and learn how to do your own inspection. I have it on a permanent sale right now, and you can access it by going onto my website at debsrvservices.net, or I will have the link in the description for you. I went on the interior of the coach, and this is where things just got worse. I found that there were plenty of electrical issues, and the first one being the shades. Now, I have said this before in my other videos, but in case you haven't watched those, anytime you get these higher-end coaches and they have all electrical shades, it's 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be working correctly. I find it all the time, and this did not disappoint in that area. I had a couple different shades that didn't work and certain control panels. So one of them was not working for it, either all shades up and down, or individually it didn't work. The other one worked on one of the control buttons, but not the other control buttons. So that's kind of what happens. That's why whenever you are inspecting one of these coaches, you have to make sure that you are pressing the buttons for all shades up, all shades down. Then you go individual, shade over the living room couch and night shade over the living room couch, or, dinette shade. You check each individual one because sometimes they work on one, but not the other. So that was not working well. And then the other thing that I found that was really a big deal, because this is an expensive fix, it could be an expensive fix, was the whole Oasis system was not working correctly. The burner had an error when I tried to use it, and the AC1 and AC2, I had that on. I was able to warm water, but the furnace did not work. It did not work on either AC or on the burner, which is a pretty big deal. So this whole system needed to be looked at. Basically, when you turned on the burner, it just shut down. So it turned on, it tried to start, and then it shut down. So that whole system needed to be looked at. When I went to test the refrigerator, it did not work. It was a residential refrigerator. It did not cool on refrigerator or freezer. And the thing about that is that you don't have, RV technicians don't really come out and repair residential refrigerators. We are trained to repair the regular RV refrigerators, 12 volt, and sometimes those can't be repaired either, and you need to replace them. And then, of course, the absorption refrigerator, which is the propane and the 120 volt. But residential refrigerators, you really just get rid of them and replace them. And so in this case, it's probably going to just have to get replaced. The other big ticket item was the leveling system. So I tried to level the coach, and it errored out twice, and there was a code on it. I looked up the code, and it had to do with the airbags, which I then talked to a technician friend of mine. We went through the codes, and because I just get curious about why things aren't working. I know my job is to just write things up and say, have a tech further investigate. But a lot of times I really want to know what is wrong with it and why it's not working correctly. So when I talked to the tech friend of mine, he said it's probably the airbags, which could mean that all the airbags need to be replaced. So why did the PDI not catch all of this? Because the PDI is not anywhere near what an actual certified RV inspection is going to tell you. Our reports are very extensive. We go through every system of this RV. We are checking everything to make sure that it works for you. Because if it doesn't work for you and you take it off the lot, you're in trouble. My client is trying to get the dealership to help him out with some of these things. But I will tell you from past experience and what I know about the dealerships is that they typically, if you buy a used unit, it is as is. I recently had another client contact me. She didn't contact me soon enough and she didn't have the money for an inspection. I tried to help her out by just giving her like a tech rate to help her just for an hour and walk through with her while I was already going to be at this location. But the dealer said they weren't going to have it ready for her. She's going to end up buying this RV without having an inspection, and it's a used RV. I feel really bad for her because if she didn't have the money for this inspection, how is she going to have the money for the repairs once she takes that off the lot? And I will guarantee you there's at least 5 things or more that she's going to have repaired. It's thousands, you guys. It's thousands of dollars. You're paying one fee to have an inspection. You usually can get that money back by negotiating with the dealer the price of the RV. It's so worth it. Inspections are so important. I can't begin to tell you how many times I feel for people that didn't get one. If you haven't seen Liz Amazing's channel, go watch it. That's going to show you right there. Her channel showcases all these poor people that purchased these RVs thinking it was going to be awesome because it was brand new and they believed the dealer. They said they had a PDI and the dealer went through it and it was fine, and it wasn't. It wasn't even close to being fine. My goal is to take the fear out of your buying experience. You guys, we are here as certified inspectors to help you. So please make sure that you reach out and find an inspector near you. You can go to www.rvhelp.com to find one in your location. I'll see you guys on the next video and have a great rest of your week.